You're watching Kruger Nation Horror Movie Reviews. Today I'm doing the killer comparison, where I take an original film and I put it against the remake to see which one is worth your time.
April Fool's Day, 1986.
This movie has a couple of familiar faces in it. It has Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2 and Thomas Wilson, who played Biff in Back to the Future. The plot of this film is anything but normal. Teenage Muffy invites all of her friends over to her parents' island for an April Fool's Day weekend. So once they get there, a series of April Fool's Day pranks start happening one by one, and then murders start happening. You know, people start disappearing and all these random things are happening. The main girl hosting the party, Muffy, starts to act like a freak ball. I mean, she's doing everything but smearing shit in her hair. She's acting like just completely batshit crazy. Now, as the plot unfolds, you find out that Muffy had an identical twin sister named Buffy, who was batshit crazy, and she's the one that's been killing everybody in the house all weekend. So the remaining people surviving are Kit and Rob, and they're basically chased around the house until the climax. Rob is left in some kind of cleaning closet, and Kit is chased into the dining room, where we all find out that this has been one elaborate April Fool's Day prank. And most of the time, I would hate this in a horror movie, but they actually did it pretty well. And not only that, but this movie's from my childhood, and I loved this as a kid. So, not to mention, if I were rich, I'd probably do the same thing. Invite all my friends over and scare the shit out of them. If I had my own island, I'd be like Lord of the Flies up in that bitch. So in the very end, Muffy explains that she's about to lose the house, and in order to keep it, she planned on having this weekend to kind of scare her friends, and it was going to be kind of a practice run for a murder mystery weekend that she was going to start doing there for money. She was going to show it to investors and use all that money to keep the house. So that's pretty much the plot, and I don't mind them faking us out in this movie because, you know, it's from my childhood, it's a fun movie, and they at least did it pretty well. You know, it could have been a lot worse.
April Fool's Day, 2008.
Alright, I hate to start this one off so negative, but there were no likable characters in this movie. All of them are bitchy little rich kids. You can't tell any of them apart. In the original, at least, there was only one rich kid, and she was likable even. I mean, until she starts going crazy, and even then you don't dislike her. You're just like, what the fuck's going on with her? This one, there were no likable characters. Not one. Not one in this whole movie. None. And also, right off the bat, it's lacking one of the things that made the original so great. It's not secluded. This takes place like in Beverly Hills or something. It's not. It's like Virginia or somewhere, but still, it's, you know, a bunch of rich kids in the city. I mean, it's not secluded, so, you know, there's really no threat. Just get in your car and drive away. The comic timing in this movie is awful. You know, in the original, they had Biff from Back to the Future, and I thought he was pretty funny. You know, this one, there were characters where I know the intention was to be funny, but the timing was so off that I was like, it was a joke, right? I didn't laugh. The plot of this movie, they're gonna prank a girl. Well, it's less of a prank and more of them watching her have sex and then running in and being like, oh, you're a whore, and then she falls off a balcony and dies. Yeah, that's a real funny prank. She's dead. A year later, they get a note. Each of them gets a note telling them to meet at the girl who died's grave. And then they all start dying off one by one, and way too slow for me. They should have died like in a sequence of like a minute each, because the characters are just awful in this movie. And in the climax of this film, we learn that just like the original, it's all fake. But it's not fake in a fun way. It's fake so they can pin the girl at the beginning, Milan, her death on Desiree. That way, the guy with Milan, these names are retarded. Milan and Desiree, fuck. Anyway, so they can take the blame off of Milan's boyfriend and put it on Desiree. It's, fuck this movie, it's so stupid. And then after they get her to admit to it on film, they accidentally kill her. Fuck, it's so stupid. And then they go to court at the end, and then they're somehow let off because it was, I don't know. This movie is not worth your time. Bad acting, bad music, bad cinematography, just awful. And the guy who produced the original freaking produced this one. Shame on you, Dick. Shame on you, man. So in conclusion, Kruger Nation says that the original film isn't perfect, and it's not the best movie ever made, But it's a fun movie. You can sit down and watch it, and when it's over, you're like, oh, I saw April Fool's Day. This one, when it's over, you're like, who do I have to kill? Like, who do I have to go kill for this fucking piece of shit? And that's all I can say about this. So until next time, Kruger Nation, peace.
Who do you want to be today? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be today? Wanna be just like
And it also has Amy Steele all the time. Invite my friends. Killed that girl, and that way that the